Hi, everyone. How are you? Today, I'm going to talk about young people. There are a lot of young people living in their vehicles. Hey, I'm Minivan Lee, and I live in my minivan, and I have for 8.5 years. So I've got a really good show for you today. Watch it all the way through. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Let's go. Hi, everyone. How are you? Today, I'm going to talk about young people. There are a lot of young people living in their vehicles. Well, why not? They can't afford rent any more than anybody else. And especially for the young people, they don't have the job experience. They don't have any Social Security coming in. And a lot of them just really can't live at home. So I'm going to give you some statistics of young people, but I've got some great video for you. So let's get going with the first couple.
The life of a 25-year-old who lives in a car with his wife. We both had work today, so we got up and started our morning routine by taking our window covers down, moving all of our bags around, and brushing our teeth. I dropped Kayla off at work and then I drove to my job. We both had the same hours today, so I picked up Kayla from work for our lunch break and we first stopped at a gas station to heat up some leftovers. We then went to find a spot so that we could sit and eat our lunch together. After eating, Kayla dropped me off at my job since it was closer. We both got off at 7 p.m. tonight, so Kayla picked me up and we headed to Walmart to get some things for dinner. We decided we wanted some steak, grilled onions, and potatoes. We got to the park and started to unpack everything to begin cooking. One of the things that I missed and definitely took for granted in our apartment was obviously the convenience of cooking and everything else, but it's the ability to get home from work and just sit on our couch for a bit just to relax. We're constantly on the move for every simple task that we have for the day, and we don't get to relax until we get in the car for bed. Kayla absolutely killed it on the steaks, and we decided to just watch some YouTube while we ate our food. Once we were done, I did some dishes, and then we packed up the car so we could head to the gym. A lot of you ask about how we shower, so we have a gym membership that is open 24/7, so it makes it really easy for us to get a workout in, then shower before bed. Once we finished, we headed to a park that we're going to stay at tonight. Our window covers and then moved our bags from the trunk to the passenger seat. Then we were finally able to get in the car and get some.
That was a very resourceful couple. Yeah, they're 25 years old. There were a couple things I want to mention. I didn't get to see really closely how they actually sleep in that car because it's not big. And I mean, he looks like a tall guy. So I'm not really sure how they're sleeping in there, but I'm going to guess that one of them sleeps on the back seat. Maybe their feet go up. But if they can fill up where the feet go in the back, if they can fill that up really nicely, because I think a lot of people do that somebody else could sleep. Maybe they have a board that goes across, or maybe they both. I could see one of them in the back seat, but maybe one of them leans the front seat down. That would be, I would think sleeping in a car is one of the biggest challenges, is the sleeping. Somebody could sleep in a car. You can put your things in the trunk. What I have seen people do before, seriously, of course, it was a bigger car. There was an older car where they're a lot longer. They're metal, you remember from the 70s and 80s. They were long. But what they did was they took out the back seat and they cleaned out the trunk pristine. And then what they did was they got in the back seat, and what they did was they moved their feet toward the end of the trunk. And they slept that way. Their head was out of the trunk where the back seat would have been. But that's one way that that could happen, possibly. So, but not that short of a car. That didn't look like a long car. Another thing, too, I noticed is when they were washing their dishes, they obviously took them into a facility, whether it was Walmart or at the park, but those were pretty nice sinks. You wouldn't find that kind of a sink in a park. So I don't know where they were washing their dishes. And I will mention that I've never actually done that, to take my dishes in to wash them. If I had a lot of dishes, what's one of the reasons I don't cook very much. But if I did and I cooked, I think I would do it. I would get a special collapsible bucket. I have one for my body, but I really wouldn't want to use that for dishes and have grease and things like that. So that's what I would do. I have a extra bucket because I don't want to carry my dishes in. And I don't know for the facility, I will say I've actually seen that done at Planet Fitness. There was this one lady 2 years ago where she had like a dolly and she took everything in. She occupied one of the dressing rooms for a good hour. I watched her. Well, I didn't just sit there and watch her, but I knew that's what she was doing because when I went to work out and when I came back, she still was using every day this one dressing room. She got there early in the morning like I did. But she would come out of there, she'd open up the curtain, come out, and in the sink wash her dishes. Just me. I mean, anybody can do what they want to do, but for me, I didn't find that to be totally courteous to Planet Fitness. I mean, I don't mind using their bathroom and putting makeup on, using their shower, but to use it as a kitchen, no, I personally wouldn't do that. Maybe some of you do. Let me know in comments what you think about that. But I do find these young people very resourceful. Oh my gosh, they look happy. Both of these people are working. So they're probably banking a lot of their money, maybe, and they're getting ready for their future. So maybe they can buy a house later. They look happy. They're both working. They're using the gym. That's really good. And they're busy. Did you notice how busy they were? Van life is not for the faint of heart. No, there's a lot that goes on. And a lot of people think, well, maybe you're in your van and you get out. There's a lot of things that need to happen. For one thing, and I'm sure they did too, for one thing, when you get up, you can't just pitter-patter into the kitchen, make yourself tea or coffee, and then patter back and maybe go sit in the living room and sit down. Oh, no. When I get up, I have to tear apart my bed. And I've got it really nice. My bed is really nice. I've got different padding levels and I sleep like a baby. Is that good? I always say, well, babies wake up all the time. Is that really good to sleep like a baby? Well, I sleep all the way through, usually, unless it's a full moon, right? Well, I have to pull up all my bedding. I have to park it in here, fold it up nicely for the next night, and that things will fit up here nice. And I have to fold up my sleeping bag here. Yeah, then I have to get dressed. Yeah, I have to get dressed right away and then I kind of clean things up, make sure things are battened down. Then I can drive to my day spot wherever I want to be. I don't hang around in my night spot, and I'm sure they don't either. So there's a lot of things that have to be done. Now, are we all homeless? Or are we just rent-free? I'm going to say with that couple, they're rent-free. And they're banking all of their money. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions and what you think about all of this. That was a cute couple. And I did like the fact that they went to a park to make a nice meal. And they could go to Walmart and buy food because they're both working. Yay, right? So, very resourceful. Let's go on to the next young feature here and see what they're doing.
I have one water.
One water?
Yeah.
Cup?
Yeah.
Water of life.
I feel like I'm gonna trip on my shoelaces and drop the water all.
Holy shit, that looks majestic.
The water of life.
Bring the kitchen out here. That's badass, bro. Get in there.
The water of life. The water of life. The water of life.
Turn this. Yeah. Damn it. No, why is it raining?
We have to fight out the rain.
We only got 15 minutes before the rain's absolutely pouring on us. Times are hard right now.
Should we cover the thing?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Here you go, buddy.
All better.
All better.
Cock!
Yeah, it's getting mushier. Yeah, boy. Little bit of flavor. Wait, you add salt and pepper to that shit?
Add.
Do you add mad shit?
Yeah, add cheese. Like,
Why is ramen like so easy to just like experiment with, bro? Like,
So keep busting.
Okay, I thought these two were cute. Now, I don't know if they're both in the same car, but I doubt it. Maybe one has one, but they only showed the one car. But they're cute. Okay, in my opinion, they're cute. I know a lot of people is like, oh, young people. Yeah, I love to watch them, and I love to see their resourcefulness. They're figuring things out. They can't. If you're handed such a horrible economy and rents are so sky high that they can't afford to live in a place. And I will mention, some of you might say, well, why don't they all get a place together? You know, get a bunch of kids together and rent a place. I'm going to guess that that's not always easy. If you were a landlord and you owned property, would you want to rent to 4 or 5 different guys, young guys? Maybe. Oh, maybe. But I think in a lot of cases, they'll be like, I don't know. Because they're going to think that they're going to party and tear the place up. So, yeah, that might not always be an option. So a lot of people are realizing, hey, I have freedom. I'm young. I'm agile. I mean, I've got my whole life ahead of me that I can live in a house. For right now, a car seems pretty cool. Yeah, it's just a different lifestyle. So I'm glad that these two buddies have each other. But yeah, they were resourceful. I wanted to show you them. Let's go with some stats right now, okay? And then I've got another clip for you. Okay, here's the stats on youth. This would be from 20 to 30 age. Looked it up. About the unemployment is about 9.2% as of August 2025. Employment rate for 25 to 34 is around 80% are employed. Homelessness, 18 to 25, about 1 in 10 experience homelessness in a given year. That's a lot. That really is a lot. Okay, so total youth adult homelessness, ages 13 to 25, about 4.2 million each year in the United States. Yikes. That's a lot. It says literally 13 to 25. Age 13, homeless. Yeah, it's going on, everybody. And of course, they can't live in a car because they don't drive. Okay, so income. The average savings of people under 35 is 11,000. That's an average, 11,000 in savings. Now, an average 401k, okay, of 25 to 34 is about 42,000 in a 401k. Retirement savings for young adults under 35, they have 18,000 median in retirement accounts, and basically for that age group, about 39,000 net worth roughly. That's an average. Sounds pretty good though for a lot of us older people, right? And the thing with the youth is that they have a lot more life ahead of them. They have a lot more earning power years ahead of them. Whereas senior citizens, just to do a little comparison, senior citizens, they're pretty much on a fixed income. Their Social Security goes up by trickles every year. So unless they work and have an income going on in their retirement years, They're not doing too good. Okay, employment, the labor force. About 85% of 25 to 34 are in the workforce. Young adults living with parents are employed less often. Yeah. Living with parents at home. 19 to 20% of adults, 20%, are living with their parents still or parents-in-law. Young adults at home are more likely to be multi-generational households. Yeah, but I think that's becoming different. I think that's different now. Maybe families that weren't previously multi-generational, maybe they are becoming more that recently, to where the parents are realizing, even though those parents left home at 18, I mean, I did, and my parents did. We left home when we were 18 because we got married younger. Well, maybe times have changed, and families who weren't normally living, letting the children live with them, they're doing it more now because they realize that it's really tough out there. Okay, I have one more I want to show you. Okay, I had to have the sound off on that one because they had music on there and it could be copywritten. So I put my own music on there. So I hope that you could read it, but I will go over what that was about. Those are 20-year-old guys living in their vehicles. Now, the one had a really nice one. Maybe he's the one that does all the cooking. I don't know, but maybe, I mean, I'm going to guess that possibly his family helped him get that, put that together. Maybe a grandparent said, hey, let's all chip in and let's get this vehicle for him. But the other ones were all living in vehicles, and they were all together. They were a group of young guys living in their cars. Are they homeless or are they rent-free? I'm going to say they're adventurers and living rent-free. This group of guys are definitely having a good time, and they're going to look back on this one day and see this was the time of their life. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm telling you, there are a lot of young people that are living in their vehicles. They have to. Of so many, they have to. I'm going to guess those guys that I just showed you, a lot of them, they have to do it. They can't afford rent. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these young people at this point can't afford to get married. They can't afford to have children because a lot of previous generations, I mean, they got married when they were 17, 18, 19 years old and started having babies. And I know that my parents, the silent generation, they could afford with only one income. They could afford a car, a home. Yeah, I will mention, though, a lot of the silent generation, if they went into World War II and they served in the military, when they came back, they were quite celebrated. They were given almost homes on, I'm going to say pennies, but it was more than that. But they were given homes. They were building all these tract homes at that time to get ready for the big baby boom, which is us, me and a lot of you out there, but a lot of you are young people. I know you're Gen X, you're millennials, and some of you are even Gen Z. Mwah, thank you for watching. You're all welcome here. I love all generations, and I don't put down a single generation. That's rude, because I don't want boomers being put down anymore. You know, we're just doing what we were doing, the same as what you were doing. We were raising babies and we were trying to live life. We weren't, most of us, I'll say almost all of us weren't sit there making policy. Those were the politicians, and they were silently in the background making policy. And the same is going to happen for you. That policy is being created not by you personally, but by the ones in charge, whoever they are. So yeah, you know, a lot of the silent generation did well on just one income because most were given a lot of benefits when they came back from the war. So I will mention that my generation, the boomers, after Vietnam, they were given nothing. Well, they were spit on when they came back, you know, so there's a difference. Yeah, hug your boomer. We didn't have it easy either, you know, it was hard for us. And I will mention, I remember when I became 18, or in the 70s, there was a huge recession going on. Oh my gosh. So with that said, I'm going to end it now. I really appreciate you spending that little bit of time with me and looking at the lives of some young people and what they're doing with van life. They're very creative and they're very adorable. I think they are. So I want you to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I've got the book, How to Live in a Minivan, The Minivan Lee Way. And it's on Amazon. It's not expensive. And it is literally a good encyclopedia from A to Z on van life, how to live it and how to do it in style. Yeah. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another subject. You go out and have a really good day. Good things are coming our way, aren't they? Yes, they are. Bye now.